again, to start, you log into Leverage, first name dot last name at era.com, of course your password, and go to Tools and Resources. And then if you just scroll down to Tools and Resources, I mean, really the same spot that we found Present and Impress. We've just added to our menu in Engage and not, or in MoxiWorks, and now we have Engage and Websites. So once you click MoxiWorks right here, I have it open already, so I'm going to just skip right to it. This is the page you see. So again, we've done the session where, sessions where we had Present and Impress. We talked about Promote, but you'll see obviously now we have Engage in My Website. So I'm going to kind of focus on Engage tonight. I think it's enough to to click around and check some things out. Certainly, answer any questions. We can dabble into website at the end if we have time, but in reality, I'm going to maybe do that Thursday. I have a 2 o'clock session that will kind of dig a little bit more into Engage and then jump also into the website a little bit. But I'll talk about the website and making sure we have a few things ready as we get into the website and kind of start making it ready to publish. So I'm just obviously going to just jump right into Engage here. So the first time, if you have not logged in yet, I've already connected my Gmail. So once it comes up here, like basically before you see any of this, you will, a box is going to come up and say, connect your Gmail. So, and that's where, you're just going to type in your Gmail if you have one. If you don't, Office Coordinator can help you do that. But once we connect that Gmail, this is basically the dashboard. So let me actually switch to.
So is that the final answer, Wayne, is that we can't use our era.com?
Yeah, unfortunately, Rich, we desperately tried, and that will actually be something that is potentially available to us. But there's some things going on with era.com, and it's kind of complicated, not necessarily on our end, but there's some things happening with that. So they just Realogy as a whole just didn't set up that. So we just chose to go with basically a free Gmail. So I mean, if I say free, just because it doesn't cost you anything, you can just go to Gmail and set one up. So
okay.
Yeah. And if you do need to do that, I would just encourage everyone to, if we're going to be kind of using it, I mean, it's so many people. So I look down our roster, I mean, I know there's people that don't have a Gmail, but there's probably 80% of our agents that have a Gmail, and it might be, Kim Shapiro Realtor.com. It could be just Kim Shapiro at Gmail, things like that. But I would encourage you to kind of have a professional Gmail, account. With some sort
I have one. I mean, I was trying to get away from it for my last handle, so to speak, but so keep it around and have them connected, I guess. So that's fine. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely need it. And if you're happy with the one you have, use it. If you wanted to create a second one, I have 2 Gmails. I go to Gmail once and both accounts are there, so it's not a hassle per se to check 2. So if you wanted to create one sort of a professional version of that, you can do that. But otherwise, just kind of need one to kind of start the process. And really the idea behind having that Gmail is the way Moxie is connected to Google and just kind of driven by Google. And so it was just a natural, like, oh, Gmail's an option. And then whatever other options there were. And as always, please, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself, or I'll check chat, but please don't be afraid to unmute yourself, like I said, that, we're kind of getting in this for the first time together, or maybe we've been in it a few times. So, slow down, check, back up, whatever, please let me know. Or if you've seen something that kind of jumped out at you, share that as well. So basically, this is your dashboard. There's two things that I've already kind of realized with Moxie is that it's really set up to kind of help an agent. Just, I'm not a fan of the verbiage set it and forget it, but there's something to be said for it. There's something to be said for, man, if I could just have something, a tool, some platform help me with things, that would be great. The one thing we can't do is, put our 500 people or 100 people on on an email blast and just end it there. I mean, if we, that just won't work. If we think that just doing that's going to be like, well, I emailed them, that doesn't work. But if I have a platform, a tool that will help me, like, oh, gee, I'm emailing them and we're going to get into it. I'm sending them a newsletter. Maybe they're on a listing alert. And then, I'm getting a reminder about their house, they call it a house anniversary. So the anniversary on buying their house, or, a birthday, I'm getting reminders on that. I'm doing my other stuff. I'm doing handwritten notes. I'm doing, whatever else. So it's just, adding this to it, and I can kind of put it aside and go, well, all right, so I'm doing something, and I'm still going to do my, my regular stuff to make sure that I'm in contact with my folks how I need to be. And if that's calling, texting, emailing further, personal emails, visits, whatever. So the idea, but I'm noticing that Moxie is sort of built to kind of help you forget about at least a piece of the communication that we need to do to our, our customers, our clients, past clients, sphere, all of the folks. So I'm just going to, again, I'm going to click around. So, you might see something a little different if you did log in, or, I might just be on a different screen, but as always, you can't hurt the thing. So, all I've been doing for the last, 3 days since we got it Monday or Sunday is clicking around and like, oh, okay, make a note, like, oh, that was kind of cool. So that's kind of what I'm going to show you guys is what I've found to this point. So there's a lot of communication as far as, this thing on the right-hand side, stay and flow, activity feed, to-do list. So, it's kind of made to, so these are over here and I can actually adjust them. So if I, so you'll see stay and flow is kind of at the top of my list. If I were like, you know what, I'm going to log in every day and I want to see my goals completion, so, that's the first thing I see. So you kind of have a little bit ability to, not that I can't scroll down, but there's going to be one thing that when you log in, you see. And, for me, always, sort of seeing my goals will quickly lead me to go, all right, not hit my goal. I'm short, whatever. Let me scroll down and get to who should I talk to, make sure you're, on target for different closings and things. So just kind of a little thing on the right-hand side. But as I said, scrolling down through, everything is there. I'm on my agent dashboard. So I actually don't, obviously I'm not selling in Ohio. So this is directly connected to the MLS. So if you haven't, it will populate, your listings, it'll populate, your solds. So this goal completion, I'll kind of show you where that is, it's just a matter of logging in and actually, setting a goal. So, we always talk about setting goals and things, but I mean, you could be as simple as, I want to make, GCI, I want, kind of money in my pocket. I want to make 50,000. I want to make 100,000. I want to make 200,000. And you'll see, I actually did kind of set mine as 100. And if I had 2 solds right now, this might say 10,000 and I'd be 10% of the way. So, and again, you may be seeing that, on your dashboard. So, but setting that goal is kind of part of that setup process the first time you log in. So it's kind of pretty easy to see. You'll see each one of these have, obviously a view. So if I click view, my MLS is not connected. So this is basically kind of your dashboard. So, I know personally I have a spreadsheet that I keep, and I kind of know like, hey, these are what I've closed, these are what's pending, adding up GCI and number of, closed transactions. So this is actually going to track that for you. So, kind of nice to, to check this out every day, however, every other day, once a week, whenever, but, just knowing that it's feeding from the MLS and in our platform. So you'll be able to track, all the data. Back up here and just kind of go back here. Each one of these has, obviously you see that gear thing, it's kind of like a settings page. So you can actually, if you were kind of, not much in this one, but some of them have more, display GCI dollars. So, if I had a closing, if I had 1 or 2 closings right now, because that's kind of where I'm tracking my goal, it's going to be right here. So that, again, this would say 10,000 or, whatever I've made to this point. And again, number of transactions, average size, obviously, sales price. So if that's 250 or whatever, average rate, average commission rate. So it's kind of tracking all that stuff. So it's kind of good data for you to have, and maybe use it as a inspiration or a push to increase sales price, more transactions, more GCI, making sure your commission rate's as high as you can. If that's 2%, you're like, man, it should be at least 3, or as close to 3 as I can get. So so different pushes for different people, but just kind of knowing this is all on one page. And again, that's just kind of that home page. Again, it's, just log in and be like, all right, let me scroll down through here, and just check my progress, check what's going on, and kind of, and again, in my world, knowing this is kind of connected, or
Wayne, are you going to talk about the calendar?
Yes. Yeah, I'll show you that in a second. Yep.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. So I'm going to just go back. Oh, I'm on the dashboard. So again, just because I was on manager mode, dashboard, first thing you see. So now I'm going to just kind of scroll over here, and then we'll check out, some of the settings. So some of these things will trigger you to go, hey, how do I do that? Or how do I do that? And so we'll kind of, check one of them out and then check the settings and things. So obviously I'm going to go to people. So I'm going to go to overview. So I linked my second Gmail, which I use personally. And once you link your Gmail, it will bring, one of the advantages right off the bat is when you link your Gmail and it says, hey, you're good to go. Not only can you start emailing and all the communication is back and forth, is it brings all your contacts in. So, it kind of gives you at least a boost right from the start to go, well, here's, 5 people, here's 100 people or whatever. So, so the only contact I have in that Gmail I use is Jeremy. So he popped in. So at least I have one body and I haven't added anybody. But so, so now you actually, you can group these people. So once you get in there, you can start playing around with them. Are they marketing folks? Are they prospects? Are they active folks? So a prospect is someone, that you're kind of talking to, or is out there. Maybe you're sending them information. Maybe it's a little bit back and forth. Maybe you're trying to hang on to them, but they're not responding. To me, that's a prospect. So an active is someone, hey, I'm going back and forth. I'm showing them properties. They, maybe they're an active client, so, and then of course, pending, deals and folks. So that'll kind of all start populating once you start doing folks.
Hey, Wayne.
Yes.
Okay, so none of my Gmail contacts are in as contacts. You know, I just have like the emails and I have them in their own separate folders. Is
Yeah.
there a way to pull from another list and do a data dump, or do I have to manually go in and add everybody?
No, so, and I'll show you in a second. So we can actually do an import using like a CSV file.
Fantastic, thanks.
Yep. So I'll show you that, and then I'll show you the, similar to when we were doing Zap, there's sort of a format in Excel. This one is crazy with the amount of information that you have, which is good. You don't have to fill it all in, but I'll show you that as well. So, but
Okay.
I'll definitely kind of show you that. Yeah, then that's what, obviously I have more contacts or more people I'm emailing in mind, but to kind of label them a contact, I don't always do. So that's
Right.
why. Yeah, same thing, Kim. That's kind of why just Jeremy came through. So, so that's people. So the first one I'm going to show you is my people. So it just kind of, it's to me it's kind of the same as the overview, but this would actually just list your folks. And obviously I can't scroll down because there's only one. But I can click on Jeremy. He's not in a group. So, I mean, I can, I could add Jeremy to the group of, well, it could be prospect. I could label a group, past seller, past buyer, past client. I could label him, whatever, a neighbor, again, similar to other platforms, you're able to put him in a group so that if you wanted to maybe do something with that group, you could do it. So, and then on the right, log activity. So, you just to kind of, it's kind of, sometimes it's kind of weird to like have a conversation and then go, oh, I better tell my system that I had that conversation, but it's also kind of nice to do it, so if I, so if I did this, obviously if I just, if I said it's today, if it was yesterday, and this is just a personal thing. If I kind of needed to remember that I really talked to him yesterday, come in, or, let's say Friday, change the date. Am I going to change the time? I don't think so. I mean, again, I'm just, try to make it easier on yourself without going, man, that's a pain in the butt, to think, well, I really chatted with him at, 9 o'clock. But date if that's important, but really the idea is that you at least talk to them if you're doing this within a day or two. So activity type, did I send them a text? Did I connect with them on social? Did I send an email? Which if you send an email from Engage, it actually records it. But say you just picked up your phone, kind of threw something out to them quick. Did you mail something? Did you meet them in person? Or you can leave it as other. So I'll just kind of leave it as other, and then obviously you can put whatever you want in there. Ran into Jeremy, talked about this or that. And the idea with staying in touch with your sphere, past client, current client, friends, family, neighbors, is that you saw them. It doesn't, like you don't put in here, you still put in here if you just ran into Jeremy, said hi, and whether you talked about real estate or not. The idea is well, Jeremy saw, I saw Jeremy, we connected. I'm assuming now, whether it came up or not, that, I was wearing my name badge, I was wearing my logo or whatever, that Jeremy knows I sell real estate and I'm still here for him, and usually, as you're walking away, you're like, hey, I'm here if you need anything. If, don't be afraid to throw out like, hey, if you know someone that's looking to buy or sell, let me know. So again, never a bad thing to kind of throw that out as you're having the conversation. Larry, yes, I apologize. I'm just seeing, I don't know when you sent that, but yeah, we do need a Gmail email address. So that was something that kind of came up when we were setting this up. So, obviously, real quick, obviously free. I would create if you don't have one, create a professional one, Larry Baylog Realtor, maybe Larry Baylog is just available at gmail.com. So, Larry Sells Florida, you can kind of create one that's maybe a little bit more professional, but yeah, we do need one to connect. Yeah, again, and then just jot some notes down. Once you hit that done, you know, it just triggers like, okay, Jeremy's one that I've talked to, that I've ran into. You know, he's good because he, you know, he knows I sell real estate. That type of that's kind of the reason why you would put, you know, do something as far as logging activity. So this phone is actually, it's not live yet, but they will have the ability to have you, you know, click that and actually dial the person. Again, you know, I could just pick up my phone and do it. But, you know, just knowing that if you do it through the system, it'll record, you know, doesn't record the conversation, but it'll record that you called them. So just another, you know, just another avenue.
Hey, Wayne,
Oh,
I have
yeah,
a
Jeannie.
question. I have a
Yep.
question with the calendar. So if you have two calendars, a personal and a work calendar for Gmail, how do you get your work calendar up there?
You know, that's a good question. When I click on the calendar link, let's
Yeah.
just, I know mine linked, so technically I just have one, you know, although I use Gmail and Outlook for some reason. I don't know. I don't need two calendars of the same, but
Well,
I kind of
so-
have those synced, but
So we have with the cafe, so we're in the, I'm in the, hi, everyone. I'm in the Gahanna Cafe.
Okay.
And we have quite a few people coming in and out and different meetings, and we've got the, you know, the conference room and whatnot. So it's important for us to be able to just use the business calendar. And I'm not crazy about having my personal calendar in here because there's no reason to have all my, you know, other stuff in there. So I was just trying to figure out, how do I get the cafe calendar up there?
no,
That's the
totally
most
agree.
important.
Yeah, when I click on that, let's
Yeah.
just see if it jumps out. I made a note. I'll certainly find out from,
Okay.
you know, from the folks if I need to tomorrow. So if we don't kind of figure it out, or yeah, I'll work on it for sure.
Thank you.
No, absolutely. Yeah, so, you know, so last thing is email. So I can, you know, just, you know, obviously send him an email through the system. So again, you know, that's kind of my people. And the idea is when you have 30 or 100 or 500 people in here, you know, you're kind of scrolling down through, and you know, there's kind of a reason why, you know, you might click on Jeremy and bring up his profile. You know, you can kind of see, you know, hey, these are the notes, you know, what activities happened. You know, you know, again, I can kind of log one here. You know, I wrote all good just to kind of start the system. You know, you can add a subscription. So I'll kind of come back here when I talk about the subscriptions, or we'll remember that adding a subscription is an option. And then, like I said, you can add them to a group. So Jeremy could be in, you know, past client group and neighbor group. It could be in past client and friend, or just past client, or again, just kind of playing with those groups. And if you ever do, I'm not a fan of removing folks unless they say like, don't ever talk to me again. But there is an option to remove from Engage, you know, that person, that contact. So filter, sort, you know, lots of just different things that you can do. You know, obviously, you know, you could, if you want, add a transaction. So if Jeremy is a past client, it didn't feed over, you know, you could add, you know, Jeremy sold 123 Main Street or bought 123 Main Street, something like that. You know, Gina, that is a good.
Yeah.
I think there's a way. And I think I say it becomes an issue. I think if you got in here and like set up subscriptions and things, I think if the change was to happen at that point, some stuff gets deleted and you kind of start over.
Oh, okay.
I'm assuming that there's a way to do it because I use a personal Gmail and a work Gmail. And I use one calendar, my personal, to manage everything. And in that, when I'm in my Gmail account and in the calendar section, there's an option to click on just my work one. So I'm wondering if there's a way, if you can set it up that way.
Okay. All right.
if that's
I'll
helpful.
I'll play around with it when we get there, and then if we if we can't figure it out, I will certainly do some homework and
Yeah,
kind of
so
make
on the
sure.
calendar section, I think like on the left nav or something like that, you'll see like different account names. And I think you can switch between the two accounts.
Perfect. Remind me when I click on calendar, Kim, and we'll
Okay.
kind of play around with that.
Thank you.
Oh, absolutely. Two more things with the people section. So when you click add people here, this is adding someone individually. So not a bet, obviously we want to. So if we bring in imports and stuff, that's cool. But if I meet someone today and I want to just enter them, it's easier just to come in here and enter them sort of one-off. Obviously, you don't want to enter 100 people this way. But you'll see first name, last name, lots of information here, phone number, email address, if you have their home address, any sort of, if they have a website, if, add a relationship, are they a friend? Are they a, past client? Add dates. So if I just click this one, look, we can add a birthday, an anniversary, a house anniversary, or something custom. So what's going to happen is we can get reminded of the day they bought their house, or and again, when you're able to text or call or email or whatever, on March 26th, and go, hey, can you believe it's been 5 years? That bodes well with you in their eyes. So just kind of always know that. So whatever info we can put in now or add, or if it takes us a little bit to do it, it is well worth it. So but again, just kind of something, and I click it says add relationship, you'll kind of see the different options. So if that's the case, you don't have to do that, but if it's the case, and again, if their social, Twitter, if you want to add that stuff. And then last, designate as collaborator personal. So obviously collaborator is just somebody you're working with, or a potential client, where personal could be somebody that, obviously personal could be or should be considered a, potential client. So, don't necessarily, label them too much. And then you have the ability to do past seller, past buyer. So again, that's, again, you can't hurt that. So if you want to go in and test it with one person, add them, see what you can do, see what you can't do, that'll be good.
Where do we find an export? Say we've got 100 people in here. We want to do a farming mailing, and we need to export the contacts.
So I'm going to show you that in just a second. Actually, I'm going to show it to you right now. So I'm going to just cancel out of that. So when I'm in, so this, just know that this little settings button changes depending on which tab you're on. So I'm going to kind of go back to dashboard, and I'm going to hit this, again, anytime you see that gear, that setting button, and you will see engage settings in feedback. So that settings button, I'm going to go into in a, maybe, before we're done, and just kind of show you what's in there. There's some good stuff in there. But now when I click people and do overview, and then click this settings button, you will see that, I can do a little bit more. Actually, you know what? I need to go to my people. I apologize. See, I'm still learning this. And now when I hit this, I can do manage removed, import CSV. So as far as the export, Kim, I'm gonna have to kind of play with that. I know what you mean when you say export. You don't want them removed, but you kind of want to, let's say create a label or something like that.
Well, if I've got I'm not going anywhere, but just say an agent's leaving the company and they want to take everybody out of their dash. How do they export that? If I'm doing a farming mailing and the company needs 80 of my client names, how do I, export it just like you would on a CSV?
Yep. So I'm gonna, if we don't see that, I'll get that question answered, because it's a legitimate question.
I promise I'm not going anywhere. It was just the first example.
No, I know you're good. So as far as the, sort of that mass import, import Outlook CSV. So if I click on this, and it's just, obviously it's going to say select file. So this will allow me to go to my database, and let's just say, I don't know if I have one here per se. Oh, so here's a test. So I did a Moxie import. So I would literally just grab that and kind of follow it through to import. So what I'm going to show you is, I thought I could get to click on this engage settings. So once I find this, I want to be able to show you guys. I'm going to actually just, you know what, I'm going to stop sharing because I think, let me make sure that I still have that database up. Wait till you see this thing. It's just crazy. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing just because I know if I stop sharing and then reshare, I can show you guys this. Oh, sorry, thought it would stay up there. Hopefully this works. I'm gonna be able to show you. Oh, you know what? I apologize. There. One more time. I swear this isn't the first time I've done this, but so this is the database. This is so this is just kind of the way it's done. So if I'm thinking I have folks in Gmail, I have folks in Yahoo, I have folks in Zap, I have folks in, wherever your folks are, they're in there. And like Kim was asking, when you go to export them or say, hey, I want a copy of all those people, if I go to Gmail and say I want to export, I want a copy of my people, it takes them and puts them in a CSV file. So it's an Excel spreadsheet, like you do, just like this, but it's a CSV file, and it's just made to like take the data and be able to put it somewhere else. Well, the thing that happens is if I export from Gmail has the format that they use. It just is what it is. Like there's no way to change it. So Gmail has I think it's about 250 columns of data. Just keeps going and going. So, obviously when you export it, all the columns are there, and let's say only 10 of them have information, so similar to that, Moxie has a format that works. So if I put all of my data into this format, I can easily upload it and have everything there. So, so if I kind of have and if this is too much for someone, like your office a lot of office coordinators are really good with this. I'm happy to help. You'll find someone that kind of understands it, but it's really just, copying all the first names and then copy them into this spreadsheet, first name, last name. You know what? I'm not putting the company in. I don't have a department. There's no job title, but as you're, so a lot of these are just going to be blank. You're just not going to have that much information, but whatever information I can put in here, the better, because all of that information is going to get moved right into Moxie without me having to add stuff, without me having to go in person by person and going, oh, let me add their anniversary date. If you have their anniversary date, their, when they bought their house or what, their birthday, whatever, and you want to add it, you can, you can just, you can do it once instead of doing it, doing it separately. So again, just kind of looking through this, and they're kind of tight. So
Hey,
like
Wayne,
home
Rich
apps,
Livingston.
home phone, so there's a mobile phone, but in here, if you kind of just scroll through here, there is anniversary, there's a birthday, things like that.
Wayne.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, Rich Livingston, I've done a lot of these .csv, or attempted to do a lot of them. And if you don't have the same populated template in each column, let's just say for an example, I exported or imported into this 100 files, if if each column is not exactly populated as directed, it won't load, and then you won't know which ones didn't load. It has to be exact, so when you populate it, and I'm not an IT guy, but it's been my frustration where you do that and you end up having to go back and try to figure out, all right, which column did not have the right number of periods or the right numbers, or the characters have to be exactly as prescribed in the column. So anyway.
Yeah, no, exactly, Rich. So that's kind of why, so this is the ideal format. So you do not need every column, but you know, often if I get a spreadsheet like this, I'm like, man, I don't need that. And I'll, you know, I'll hide it or delete it and like, I don't need it. So we need to leave them all, but it doesn't need to be filled in. You know, we do not need a telex. This column can be blank.
Import
so, and it won't look for it. It won't insist on it. But like Rich was saying, you know, there's a, you know, the anniversary. If I, you know, I can't write March 3rd, 2022, and then the next one put 3/2/22. You know, it's like the format all has to be the same. So, and as a matter of fact, I'm assuming if I put, you know, let me just put 0303. So I put that, it didn't change it. So that's the way I would put them, you know, I would just kind of either copy them in there and see if it changes it. But again, kind of got to play with this a little bit, but you know, I can't stress enough that, you know, sort of the more you do now, the better off, you know, because let's be honest, if I uploaded 100 people and we're like, hey, I got 100 people in there, you know, I'd love to think I'm going to go back in and add birthdays for all 100 people, man, you know, but again, if I just take a minute and do it, you know, I'd say a minute, you know, if I take the time to do it now, you know, the better off I'll be. So you'll kind of see that so we're kind of at the end of it now. We're in the C's, double C's. So we got 100 columns or so, you know, in there, maybe not quite that many. But again, you do not need all that data. But when I export from Gmail, for example, or wherever, or have a spreadsheet of my own, you know, I will just copy what I would do, copy all the first names, come in here, right click, paste, you know, and, you know, last name, you know, copy, paste. I would just build this as my new, you know, spreadsheet, and like, okay, so once I get it done in, you know, whatever that looks like or wherever I'm happy, then I save it, and that's the one that when I'm in Moxie, this is the one that I grab as far as, okay, that's the spreadsheet I want. So hopefully that, I mean, I don't mean to, you know, I know it's kind of technical, so I don't want to, you know, get over, but you know, it's just kind of the way it is, but definitely, you know, able to help, you know, understand that, or get that, help you get it done. So again, just to kind of refresh, let me move. Oops. You know, my people. So if I'm doing a one-off, I add people. If I'm kind of, you know, looking at that mass import, once I click my people, I come over to this, you know, the settings, and then do import Outlook CSV. So I am going, any other questions on, really, please, you know, you guys have been great. I love the interaction. You know, definitely just unmute yourself. I'm kind of checking chat as well. So now let's hop in calendar. So again,
I'm going to pipe in real quick. I anticipate we're going to have some CSV issues and just conversions because everybody's spreadsheets are different. Technology's gotten a little bit more user-friendly. It'll recognize and kind of sometimes resort depending on what platform's talking to what platform. So I kind of just made up my mind that if I do 10 entries a day, if I have to do them manually, I should just be reaching out to those same 10 people and just call it a day. So use it as kind of your connecting with your sphere at the same time. It's a force, if you will. It's a painful process, but I think that, you know, it's also a window of opportunity as well.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's, I mean, that's beautiful. If that's I mean, yeah, if that's the way you choose to do it, and you know, you're reaching out to those folks as you're putting them in, you know, beautiful. So
Yeah, I'm not going to do it with all of them, but if I have some glitches or issues getting data to transfer over, then by all means.
yeah. I mean, you know, and you know, let's be frank. You know, this platform is good, will be good, will help you stay in touch, will help you get business, will help you not lose business. But you know, if I do it, you know, if I do it halfway, you know, like, oh, I got 100 people in there, I got 1,000 people in there, you know, half are missing phone numbers, half are missing emails, you know, no birthday, you know, I mean, I lost a chunk by just not, you know, either looking at my spreadsheet and going 10 by 10, you know, or, you know, taking it like Kim is just a suggestion, like, well, you know, I have 10 past clients, I got 10 people I'm working with now, I might as well start with them, you know, and then go to past clients, and then, you know, work your way down, but do it right. So, you know, the platform is designed to help us, but, you know, I guess it's kind of the old garbage in, garbage out, you know, I mean, it won't work miracles for us, but, you know, if we give it good data, then, you know, we should get it out of it. So, or be able to use it properly.
I never really put my contacts into Zap. I wasn't overly excited about that platform, so I kind of just worked outside of it. But I'm assuming that there's also an export in Zap, if anybody used that you can extract from there and download up into here.
Correct. Yeah, you can export. You know, in reality, Kim, we have, you know, we have, you can so it's just kind of weird. And I don't know that with the way we do leads, you know, typically just saying that Zap is set up, our back office is set up. So if you had 100 leads in Zap and you physically put in 80 of them, you know, your sphere, and let's just say 20 of them were leads that we kind of gave you, it'll let you export the 80 and the 20 just kind of stay there. So if you come across that, I can get you access to the 20, you know, because they're, you know, you're just going to switch them over here. So there's ways we could get that to sort of sync over. So, but, you know, yeah, definitely. So. So, okay, so now I'm in the calendar. Again, I just linked, you know, the Gmail I use, you know, but it's kind of like a personal one that I don't even know why I have 2 Gmails, to be honest. But so this is the calendar that linked, you know, just to kind of start, you know, without getting into whether you can switch. You know, I hit the plus, I can add something. So, you know, I could literally kind of start using this and it'll sync with my Gmail. So if I'm in here, I'm like, you know, hey, I want to, you know, I got to meet I got to meet at 123 Main Street on Saturday at 4, you know, whatever. So, you know, so that's one piece. So now let me cancel out of this. So I'm going to scroll over. I'm going to go to 2 places and then I'm going to kind of see what, so, you know, there's obviously, if I did default, you know, you can unclick. So if you didn't want birthdays to show up, but, you know, that's kind of an option. But what I'm going to do is because this is, again, kind of new because we're in calendars. So I don't necessarily, Kim, where did you see maybe the option to?
I don't know if they pull it over in here. It looks to be, so if I'm looking like, I'm on my Gmail account right now on my cell phone, right? Looking at my calendar options. And in the upper right-hand corner, I've got because I've got 3 different Gmail accounts,
okay.
but that's besides the point. So it looks to be that Moxie is pulling over only the account that you're associated with. It does not appear by looking at the screen that you've got up that we have the option to toggle between 2 different accounts. Because I'm assuming in Moxie, you would have had to upload both Gmail accounts in order to see both calendars.
Yeah.
But on your cell phone, if I click off default calendar or on my cell phone or even on my desktop, if I switch to like my Shappy Kim versus my Shappy Kim 10, I can see the two different calendars, or I can merge the two if I so choose. It doesn't look to be, it looks to be this works singularly,
Okay.
regardless of accounts.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out real quick, Gina. If you're able to chat.
Yeah.
Do you have one email and then in a personal and a work calendar?
Yeah. So
Okay.
what I did is I attached my Gmail, which was my personal, but then we did another calendar for the cafe,
Okay,
which is attached to the same email. That's what,
okay.
yeah.
All right, I wanted, so when I ask or, see what options we have, hopefully, if we do, whatever. I kind of wanted to know one email, it's not two emails, it's one
No.
email with two calendars. How do we-
calendars,
oh,
yep.
Okay.
And maybe I have to go to just two separate emails, because I was just
Gina?
asking Kim that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Gina, are people logging into your CRM here? Because if it's only you're the only one that sees it, because it wouldn't be shared with the office. So I'm a little confused on the access and who's seeing that. So to better help you.
So I wanted to just be able to see just the work one,
Yeah,
so that I know when people are coming in for me to make my buyer consultations and whatnot. Because we all want to be able to go into that calendar, and we're trying, letting people schedule times.
okay.
Okay,
So there's 3 of us that have that capability, 4 of us. I think.
Oh, okay. So like you have an office Gmail account, like Cafe Ghana, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Gmail account, and everybody's kind of using that universally.
Yeah. So,
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I will, I will check that tomorrow, Gina, and just,
okay.
definitely just see what, see what our options are. But I know what you're looking for, so I'll be able to kind of see what our options are. So I'll definitely let you know tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much, you guys.
No, absolutely.
Gina, if it can't be done, my recommendation is just to use the CRM for your personal business, right? Whichever account you choose to use that from, and then just log in through a desktop or your computer and only look at the Ghana office. Kind of keep them as 2 separate entities.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good idea.
That might be the path of least resistance.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Okay.
All right. Perfect.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, that's why we're here. We learn when we, it's like, oh, let's go down. So no, perfect. So again, I just linked mine. So this, I don't use this Gmail on a daily basis, but apparently, my stays at Marriott are on there, and then some of my syncs are going back and forth. So, but I love the idea of having this calendar. I'm not oblivious. I'm not going to log in here and add, something, but if I love that if I put it in my phone and it's the same calendar, that it'll sync. So if I do log in here, or if I am in Moxie and, emailing or whatever, and I add something here, that it does make it to my phone, I think that's pretty cool. So it's just a matter of figuring out, what's best for you. If you use Outlook as your calendar, this might not be a tab that you do, that you use. You're just using your Outlook. So nothing that you have to do, or, well, you got to do it this way. No, like if there's a piece of this that just isn't going to work for you, you don't have to, you don't have to use that piece. So. So that's it for calendar. And let, please unmute yourself if you have anything, but I have goals. Keeps so we kind of dabbled on this page, but again, once kind of in your setup phase, this you'll be able to get in here and put your goal in here and then track it. So that's kind of a simple one, to peek at. And obviously you could already be seeing stuff as an agent, and if you see anything and have any questions, but active and pending, it'll track your deals. Prospects. So if you kind of keeping track of, hey, this person's here, this person's here, they're looking to list in May or whatever. GCI forecast. So how much money do I want to make? Where's it coming from? You know, sellers, buyers, you know, kind of good stuff. So, you know, obviously once it starts populating, you'll, you know, it'll jump out at you a little more. But you know, for me, kind of a pretty cool page to have available to me, like in a kind of in a split second, or, you know, I mean, obviously you know, if something closed today, it's not going to be in here, but you know, if you log in once a week, or, you know, whatever you're kind of thinking about your goals, you know, definitely a page that could be helpful to you. In the last page, we're going to kind of peek at, I feel like the hour went flying by, you know, and I love that you guys were interactive and in asking questions. So, but this is kind of where I'm going to go back to, you know, this platform is really set up to help us kind of set some stuff, and just know some things are going out to people. So, you know, my campaigns, so we do not have any campaigns in here yet. We will be building some. We're going to actually bring them over from Zap. All my long-term campaigns, I don't know how quick I'll be able to do that, but, you know, it's kind of a process to move back and forth. But obviously, if now we're kind of going across this menu here, you know, so you're able to do e-blasts. So you can grab, you know, again, you can grab your group of neighbors. You can, you know, if you group them, you can grab really everybody, you know, if you want to do a mass email, but you can grab your past, you know, past sellers, past buyers, you know, whoever, once you group them, and just send out an email. You're like, hey, hope all is well, you know, knowing that it goes out individually. You know, it's not going to be like, oh, there's 100 email addresses on the email, and you know, it goes out personally when you send that out. So that's just the idea of this e-blast. One of my favorite pieces in this platform, and I haven't used it or seen it yet, but just hearing about what it is this neighborhood news. So you actually have the ability, and I'm going to show you a different avenue to do this, but basically what you have the ability to do is grab a person in your database and send them a monthly newsletter about what's happening in the market around their house. So, you know, and I'll show you how detailed you can get on that to know. So it's kind of pulling MLS data and kind of sending them like, hey, this is what's happened in the zip code you're in, or in your neighborhood. So, so pretty cool. Again, you know, I got 300 folks and I set 300 folks on it. Like, it's going to take me a minute to do that. But man, once I do that, I got 300 people that are all getting a newsletter from me, branded by me with valuable data to them. You know, like, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're looking to buy or sell, or you just bought and you're not going to sell for 30 years. You are going to care what's happening in the market around your house. You're going to want to know what the neighbor's house listed for and sold for, the one that's 2 streets over. That's just something you're going to want to know. So anytime you can, you know, send data like, or send info like that to, you know, to someone, they will open it, they will look at it. And then, you know, again, good data, they're going to go, oh, that's right. Rich is an agent, you know, in whatever that triggers in them, that's cool. So
this is where I'm going to chime in. Sorry to
Nope.
pipe in. 2 things here. This is a good way to work the sphere. Either at tax time at the end of the year to catch back up, you know, or in this market, if you think about selling, here's where we're at, you know, kind of like thing. So that's a good touch point, you know, to work the sphere. But I love this click rate. I pay attention to click rates because if they're opening it, they're interested for some reason. And that's a way to engage them.
yeah,
And especially like on the CRM platforms, if there's a click rate for like, if they're paying attention to the leads that you send them, like the Cincinnati MLS, anytime I've got somebody set up on a portal there, if they open the portal and look at it or save a property, it notifies me. So that's just priceless and valuable information right there. So use it, guys.
yeah. Real quick, I mean, you know, Kim opens up the newsletter. You know, I don't reach out to Kim and go, hey, Kim, are you looking to sell? You know, I reach out to Kim and go, hey, Kim, how's it going? And then just, you know, I'm basically just saying hi. And then Kim can be like, oh, it's good. You know, but when I engage like that with my folks, my clients, I get something back usually, especially if I've timed it right, or looked at something like that. They will reach out and go, man, I just opened your email this morning. That was awesome to know, what's happening in my neighborhood, So that's the idea behind that is anytime you can do something personally that's triggered by maybe something you did, it just resonates a little bit more with them, a little bit
So
more
Wayne,
personal.
is that one like a set it and forget it? Like I can put Wayne
Yeah.
Weaver in and then have it
Yeah.
send it to you quarterly?
Yep, it's actually monthly, so
Okay.
it goes out automatically monthly. So listing announcements. So
That
and
just
again,
saved me a ton of money on my Sphere mailings.
yeah. So listing up, so we can set up a listing announcement. So when I say that, the old 3-bedroom, 2-bath in this zip code, sends them out, and guess what? Click rate, unsubscribe rate. You're working with John. You set him up on a listing alert, and he unsubscribes. Better believe he's going to hear from me, like, "Hey, John, what's up?" Well, I'm checking somewhere else, whatever. Is John working with another agent? There's good data here. Once you kind of set that up, Greg, I don't think so. I think it just goes out monthly. And I'll ask if that's something they're, they're thinking about, but I'm going to make a note. And I'll check with the, with the team to see if there's something to be able to say when it goes out, but I think it just goes out monthly. And then just last one here, my emails. So obviously it's just tracking. So if you send an email, it's gonna, it's gonna track it, whether it, got, opened or, was there a response, that type of thing. So that's kind of the campaign piece. Kind of went through that one quick because I just want to show you, I know we're at 6:30. I kind of want to show you guys real quick. So I'm going to go back to the dashboard. Maybe. Oh, there we go. And now when I go to this settings, again, know that Engage settings is on there every time, but there's additional ones. When I go to this Engage settings, and there's multiple ways that you can set this up. That page I was on with the newsletter, there's a button there that says, "Hey, do you want to send this?" Like you hit that and it says, "Hey, who do you want to send this to?" But I kind of want to just show you this because I just happened to find this. So they're called subscriptions. So obviously it's it's just a label for it, and you'll see that there's a neighborhood news and then the listing announcements. So if I just click neighborhood news, and again, this is the newsletter, you could actually create a link. So let's say it'll create a link, like you go to Facebook, for instance, and go, "Hey, if you're interested in getting a monthly newsletter and what's happening in your market, click this link." And the link comes back to you and says, "Hey, John wants to know what's happening in near 123 Main Street." So again, just an option there. And then listing announcements, same thing, just some good stuff here. So I kind of wanted to just show you that. But when I go to leads, there's an auto response. I'm kind of just clicking around here. I'm going to get to kind of show you guys where to set that person up on a newsletter and how detailed you can get. But you can actually, so if you get new folks kind of coming into your system, which they will or can from your website, they can click, get to you from there. You can actually kind of click this on, and then they'll be automatically set up on a newsletter, that monthly newsletter. So it's kind of just another neat little thing. But so I'm going to go back to, I'm going to go back to my people. I'm going to click on Jeremy, and I'm going to scroll down under him, and I'm going to say add subscriptions. And you're going to see, again, I'm focusing on Jeremy. Should I get him in neighborhood news? I don't know, yes or no. Or do I want to set him up on a listing announcement? So I'm just, for time's sake, I'm going to just click on the neighborhood news one and just show you that, look, there are different areas that react different in the market. There can be a zip code that, like, well, that zip code, I'll take a house anywhere in that zip code. And then there's like, well, geez, I need to be within 2 streets of each other. So if your zip code works, otherwise, if you click, get custom, it's, I could literally get, I have no idea where I am right now, to be honest, but I could literally just, I'm gonna just do a quick draw. And you could actually do, right there. I want, for John, that's the circle I want. And I only want him, and obviously if I'm doing it like that, I'm scrolling in, and I really need to find John a house on this street. I can circle that, and that's anything that happens in that little circle is what's John's going to get for that newsletter. Or I could do that zip code and just be like, well, that's what you're getting. So just depending on where you are, I know that's that matters. So again, real kind of quick on that because because we're kind of close on time. So that's kind of, I think I'm gonna end it now. I don't want to keep you guys any longer, but hopefully that was enough to, to get your feet wet and know that you guys can get in there now and click around, and, I'll send this link out tonight or tomorrow, but you'll be able to, to play around with it and at least have a, an idea of what's happening. So.
Hey, Wayne.
Yep.
Completely. When everybody logs off, can I get you for a second? Some of my data is wrong, and Moxie won't let me update it.
Yep. Anybody else have any questions before we hop off?
When are we going again, Wayne?
So I have one Thursday at 2, and it'll kind of be the same thing, but I'll be playing around with it till then. So we'll, might learn some new stuff, or I'll, hopefully get some questions answered by then. So, and then I'll dabble in the website as well on Thursday. So I might stop this one. I don't know if it'll be half and half, but there'll be a portion that'll be about the website on Thursday at 2.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wayne, if you said it, I missed it. When are we going to be able to have the program on our own computers?
You guys have access to it now.
We do. Okay. I missed it.
Yep, through Leverage. And then, log into Leverage tools and resources, scroll down MoxiWorks, and you'll be at the dashboard for all of Moxie now.
Okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you guys so much.